Hey everyone, this is Donna Gunter with BizSmart Media, and I'm going to attempt to do something a little different today. I'm going to try to make a how-to video using my desktop, and because I had written about the fact that I was updating my lead magnets in my e-zine, I thought I might show you a little bit about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it in Canva. So on the screen now you can see the inside of my Canva account, and you can see I've got a lot of lead magnets here, some I do for clients. I'm going to try to create or replicate a cover so you can get some ideas of how I'm using Canva to do the cover of my lead magnet. So first off, I'm going to choose a layout, and so we're going to create a design here. And I've got Canva for work, by the way, so I'm going to choose letterhead rather than ebook, just because I find that easier to work with. It kind of gives me a blank canvas. And what I could do is look in Canva for an image, but I've already done that and I'm not real thrilled with the free images that they have. So I'm going to go over here to my account at Deposit Photos and look for people in a line. I've already logged into my account. Deposit Photos is a little bit more expensive than I would ideally like. It's about $4 per image for the kind of images that I use. I also use Stock Unlimited, but I didn't find anything there. So you can see my options here. There are a number of options, but since I've already done this, I'm going to go to my download folder, my downloaded files, and show you the one that I picked, which was this one. And so I'm going to pop back over to Canva, and I know you have the option to upload that, and I've already done that, so I will show you that upload here. It's already uploaded, so all I'm going to do is just take this and pop it into my design. Now you see the little handles, you can move the design up and down, so I'm going to do this, and I already know that it's not going to fit, but oops, actually this is the wrong one. That one has community in it. Let's try this one. Here we go. I had to go back and change that image a little bit because it had that text there in the middle. So I am going to move this around just a bit. And I already know that I need a place for my name at the bottom, and I'm not going to try to overwrite this. So I'm going to go back into Canva, excuse me, and look for square. Oops, if I can spell square. Okay, and this is just a really simple one, so I'm going to put that down here. You can resize it, so I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Now you notice on Canva you have the option of seeing the larger version of your image or seeing a smaller version. I'm going to do it smaller just for the moment, just so I can get more on the screen. And there you go. And as you can see, I can pick whatever color I want for that. And there's some default colors. There's one thing about Canva that I'm not real thrilled about, and that's the fact that it doesn't have a color picker, which means that, like in Snagit, for example, which is what I'm actually using to record this video, you can use the color picker to pick out a color from the image that you're currently using, but Canva does not offer that. So I'm going to go over here and open up my color picker program called Color Detector, and then go back, and I want a blue that's about this color blue here, and so I noticed that the hex code for that is 568CB1. And you can see the hex code. I'm going to move this, well, go back to this. You can see the hex code there right under name, and it says hex code. So I'm going to move this out of the way and then go here. Oops, here we go. And I'm going to add a color, and I'm just going to enter the hex code right here. It looks like we're hung up a little bit because I'm trying to do multiple things. Let's see, 568CB1. And then just hit return. and you notice that it has come out to that blue color that I wanted in here. And so now all I need to do is add a little bit of text. So I always like to start with the body text, just because I can manipulate that a little bit better. And you can move that body text wherever you want. And I know on this that I'm going to use the Railway font because I've already picked out that font. There's a really cool font chooser that Canva offers. You can actually see examples of the font as you pick those. So I'm going to go down to Railway. It has a Railway Heavy and a Railway Regular. So I'm just going to choose the regular, and I know that I'm going to need a bigger option here. And so we can call this whatever we want to. And I think I'm going to call this one, I can't remember what I called the other book, but I'm just going to, because this deals with online visibility, I'm going to call this one Be Seen Everywhere. Whoops. Now what I can do with this font is go and pick a font color, and again I'm going to have to choose something that I match here in the color, because I try to coordinate the color. So I like this red right here. So this red hex code is A52929. And this color detector, I think if you just type in color detector in Google, it's just a free software that I use. So let's go back to this. And you can pick it out of the color wheel if you want, but I'm not really good at picking things out of a color wheel, so I try always to get the hex code of that. And let's see, A52929. There we go. And so it's got that color. And if I wanted to make this a little bit bigger, some preset font sizes, I don't think I can add in something that's not here, in terms of a preset font size. I think with Canva I have to stick with the preset font sizes in that. So now I'm going to go, actually I'll probably just copy this text, it'll probably be easier. Just go down and copy, and I know this is going to be smaller, so let's maybe take it down to 36, and I want to pick a different color, so I think I may go back and get into this blue for the subtitle. And the subtitle might be something like how to use your book to be the online expert, for example. And I'm going to pick a little different font just for diversity's sake, and I'm going to pick, already had picked one, and I'm going to pick this one called Meriwether. Let's see, there we go there. Just add a little panache to my cover, and obviously that's going to be a little too big, so I'm going to go down to a 24, and then I'm going to click away for the color stuff, and maybe we'll go up to 28. Okay, there we go. And I can make this bold if I want. Okay, I might keep that bold. What I also might do is just to draw some delineation here. I could add a line between the title and the subtitle. So if you go back over to Canva and just type in line, you get all of these options for a line, and some of them are really difficult to see, but most of them are free. You start getting into the, well, I had gotten into the paid ones before, it's not showing it right now. So let's just pick a delimiter, and let's maybe just go with, let's try this one here, if I can snag that. Okay, I snagged the wrong one here. Let's delete that. I'm trying to get this really, if I get that one here. Okay, I'm not real thrilled with that. Let's delete that. Alright, here's a thin one. Let's see what this one looks like. Okay, that's a little different, a little kind of interesting. I don't know that I would keep that, but For the purposes of our demonstration today, it will do. Now you can also change the color on that. So of course I would want that to be a color that matches my cover. So I'm going to go back to color detector here, and let's see, I like this yellow. That's kind of a greenish yellow. Let's get more of a yellow. How about this one? This is E3B75E. So I'm going to close that out, go back to this, and type in the hex code. Well, maybe I'll type in the hex code. There we go. Now that's that yellow color that I wanted. And I'm going to move this out just a little bit more. Okay, everything looks pretty hunky-dory there. So now I'm going to copy this one more time to use for my placement of the author information. Now I know, of course, this is going to be too big, so let's go down to about a 32. And I'll move this into place, and I'll type in Donna Gunter, Bismarck Media. Of course, I didn't leave enough room, so let's stretch this out for the entire length of this. And that might be a tad too big. It looks like it's falling off the edge. So let's take this down to a 28. And it's already centered. So there you go. That's a really quick and easy way of how I create a cover for my lead magnet. And if I were going to create the inside of that, I'll do that really quickly. I'll just simply copy this page, and I'm going to actually take everything out. So I'm going to go delete everything. What I usually like to do is to have a header on every page, and so in this case I could actually use this. But I could change the color of it. So if I click on the color, you'll see the colors that I've already used. So maybe let's use that gold color, and let's use, you can actually copy this as well. Okay, and I might change this to say step 1, and I'll do this in all caps maybe. This is the first step. And sometimes I like to put another, if I'm doing that stuff step by step, I like to add a number option and get out of the caps lock. And you see there are lots of number options here. Oops, now we get down to images. So let's take this number 1. I want to put this here, and this one I like because you can change both the number and the color. You can't change yeah, you can change the color of the number. And this one I don't like the color of that number because it doesn't match. So let's go back to, say, maybe this color. And there we go. So we've got step 1. And then what I'm going to do is insert some text. And again, I always use this text. And I know for this I'm going to use the Meriwether. And it's probably going to be 16 or 18. Let's do it 18 here. Let's see if I can get some lorem text. And that's just filler text, just to have something to put in there, because I didn't have anything prepared. Let's see how long it takes me to get that. go. And go back over here. Okay, so I want this text to fill up the page, so I use the handles and create a margin. And I also need to center this. Now what happens in a box with Canva is that everything within the box, for the most part, is subjected to the same rule. So for example, if I wanted to left justify that, everything in the box is left justified. If I wanted something that was in a list, for example, let's create I'll just copy this. If I want to create some of this that was in a list, I'll take some of this out, and we're just doing nonsense stuff. This is a second box, and if I wanted this in a list, where'd my list go? Oh, there it is. It will do everything in the box in a list format. So if you want different formatting, you have to create different boxes in Canva. So there we go. There's our list. And let's see if I can make the margins very similar here. And I might actually want to scoot that in just a little bit more and indent this a little bit more. So let's see, we'll make a second paragraph here. And we'll have to move our list down. Let's see, we'll make another paragraph. These are not grammatically correct, but again, we're just doing this for example's sake. And there you go. There would be ideally the first step. And so, if you had 5 steps in a process, you would simply just hit the duplicate button, and boom, you've got a carbon copy of what you had before. So just change that to a 2, change that to your second step, and insert your text for your second step. And then at the end, you can download it, and say you wanted to download it as a PDF. You can do it as a PDF standard or PDF for print. So let's do it as a PDF standard. And it will save your design in Canva. It automatically saves. So there we go. It's asking me where I want to save that. I'll just pop that on my desktop. And we'll go back to my desktop, get some of this other stuff out of the way, and we will open the document as soon as my computer finishes processing it. And I have to always tell it what program to use to open it since I upgraded to Windows 10. It's kind of aggravating. For whatever reason, it won't let me set default programs. And to move this down a little smaller, there you see we have our cover, we've got page 1, we've got, would be page 2, and there you go. That's how I've been creating my lead magnets in Canva. I hope you found this video helpful, and stay tuned. This has been fun. I'll try to do some more videos like this.